Mighty Oak Stories, There is Magic. It was a surprisingly mild day for Christmas Eve. Mighty Oak had gathered all the animals around to tell them stories, and that the family had all gone away for Christmas. It was the first time that elderly Rose had been away from the house in years. They'd all gone to stay with Rose's sister, who lived in Dorset, near the seaside. Susan had wanted to go to Utah in America, where her parents lived. However, Rose was quite elderly, and they all decided that the flight it would be too long for Rose. Susan didn't mind that much, as she loves Rose very much, and that her parents were coming in the summer anyway. Mighty Oak was telling his little friends all about the family's departure yesterday morning, and how little Poppy had held everyone up. Poppy had to go with them, but she didn't want to go. So every time someone tried to get her into the cat box, she would run away. She'd been a little naughty Poppy that morning. The reason she didn't want to go was because Auntie Irene's parrot would pick on her. He would peck at her with every opportunity it got. He just didn't seem to like cats. The last time Auntie Irene stayed with Rose, she brought the parrot, and poor Poppy found a quiet spot to sleep on the back of the sofa, but the parrot walked along and smartly pecked her quite hard. Poppy hid in the garden. However, Mighty Oak reminded Poppy of the last Christmas that she stayed at Auntie Irene's and all the lovely presents she got. Oh gosh, thought Poppy, Mighty Oak's right. Actually, Auntie Irene gave me lots of lovely turkey when Rose wasn't looking. Of course, Rose did not like her sister giving Poppy too much, as Poppy just got very fat the last time they stayed. You're right, Mighty Oak, I actually got my favourite toy that year, my catnip mouse. Now I think of it, where is my mouse? Poppy thought. Mighty Oak, as if reading Poppy's mind, said, Rose put your mouse in the cat box, Poppy, with a nice soft blanket. Oh, said Poppy. I have been naughty, haven't I? I will go in now. Poppy strolled in through the cat flap, jumped onto the chair where the cat box was, and went straight in and lay down on her soft blanket. The family all looked at one another, quite amazed. They had all at one time or another tried to get Poppy in that box. They had tried to coax her in with food, tried just putting it in there, tried to hide it under a blanket, and now she just strolls in and gets in herself. Susan smartly pulled the flap down before Poppy changed her mind. They could now leave, as Poppy was the last thing to do. Now everything packed and they were ready to go. So, my friends, the family got off safely, although an hour late. Later than they had intended. Tell us some stories, please, Mighty Oak, said Spike the Hedgehog, who had come out of his hibernation box that Rose had brought for him. He had been fast asleep in his cosy box. However, Robin thought that as it was so mild, his friend could come out and hear Mighty Oak's stories. Spike thanked Robin for knocking on his box with his beak, as he did love listening to the great tree's stories. And Robin was right. It was very warm for Christmas Eve. All right, said the mighty tree warmly. He was just about to start his story when he noticed an argument going on between two pigeons who were perched on Christmas lights that Andrew had hung on Mighty Oak's bottom branches. What's the matter with you two? Asked the mighty tree. They were both embarrassed and their cheeks blushed bright red. Everyone was looking at them. Sammy keeps swinging and it's making me dizzy, said Danny. So, said Sammy, I like it's fun. Excuse me, said a quiet little voice that they only just heard. It was Milly the mouse. I'm not moaning, she said timidly, but it's hard to concentrate on a story when I keep seeing you swinging above me, Sammy. Mighty Oak said, Listen, Sammy, how about when I'm telling a story you sit so still so that you won't annoy anyone. Then, as soon as I've finished, you can swing all you like. Does that sound fair? Sammy thought about it. Yes, he thought that was fair. Sorry, everyone. Sorry, Milly. And sorry to you, Danny, he said, smiling to his brother. That's all right, said Danny, going red again. Thank you, said Milly. Mighty Oak was quiet for what seemed like ages. The animals all looked at each other, wondering what was wrong. Unbeknownst to the animals, the mighty tree was waiting for Gary, a little boy, to sit down on the other side of the fence. Gary was a very sad, very cross little boy. He was 7 years old and everything was horrible. He didn't care about it's Christmas, didn't care about anything. This morning when Gary got up, he felt very happy. He ran down for breakfast and he excitedly told his mummy that Daddy would be home for Christmas, as he had prayed for his Daddy to come home for Christmas. Then his mummy had to spoil it and say that not all prayers are answered like that. Gary was not feeling happy with his mummy. Why did she have to spoil it and say that? He will, shouted Gary. He will. You're just moody and silly. Gary's mummy said, do not be rude to me, Gary. I know you want Daddy to come home for Christmas. We all want him home. Your little sister wants him home. I would love Daddy to be home for Christmas too, Gary. It just cannot be this Christmas. I'm sorry. It's difficult sometimes with Daddy being a soldier. Well, I hate Daddy's job. Why can't he tell them about us? Then they will let him come home. Poor Gary, it was hard for him to understand. Eat your toast and then we can take Megan to the park. It really is quite warm and there wasn't even any frost. Gary wasn't happy at all. He didn't even want any stupid toast or go to a stupid park. I don't want it. That's fine, said his mummy. You'll be hungry. I don't care. Then he did something really naughty and he threw his toast on the floor. His mummy looked very hurt and Gary felt bad inside as his mummy had tears in her eyes. He didn't want to hurt his mum, but he didn't know what to do. His mummy did not say anything. She just picked up the toast and threw it away. She was disappointed in his behaviour, but she did understand. Gary's mummy put Megan's coat on and put her in the pushchair, and then put on Gary's woolen winter coat and did up his buttons for him. I'm too hot, he moaned. Well, the weather might change, Gary. It is December. I'll put your gloves in my bag, all right? He just mumbled. He didn't want to talk to his mummy. Grown-ups always ruin everything. He begrudgingly held his mummy's hand as they went out.